Hello guys, welcome to Like Tech. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the OnePlus 9 Pro. The OnePlus 9 Pro is the Chinese brand's latest attempt to build the best phone possible. And we're not talking here about a budget experience, no. OnePlus is delivering a fully fledged answer to take on the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus and Oppo Find X3 Pro. Past experience has taught us that there's usually a hefty caveat with any OnePlus flagship. For example, the OnePlus 7 Pro lagged an IP rating, while the 8 Pro couldn't quite compete with the best camera phones. With the OnePlus 9 Pro, do we finally have no compromise device? The OnePlus 9 Pro is being launched fairly widely. It's available from OnePlus Direct in a number of countries, including the United States, Canada, and the UK. However, in the UK, availability is scarce if you are looking to pick up the device on a long-term contract. It seems only 3 will be stocking it, which is a shame for such a pricey device. The Money Mist and Stellar Black models come with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage at a price of £929, while the Pine Green option with 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage will sell for £929. If you want the 50-watt wireless charger, then that will cost you an extra £69.95, while the OnePlus Watch is £149. Design-wise, the OnePlus 9 Pro isn't the most exciting phone. It's perfectly adequate with its curved front and back, glossy rim and expansive screen covering in the front, but it lacks the standout style of the Samsung Galaxy S21 or iPhone 12. If I were buying the phone, my eye would be caught by the Pine Green model with its moody color and the matte finish. There's the Stellar Black model too, which has the brand's once ubiquitous rough sandstone finish. The Metal and Gorilla Glass sandwich retains all the bits I expect from a flagship device, especially one from OnePlus. The handy alert slider remains, providing quick and tactile access to sound profiles. This is a super convenient feature, and I can't understand the reasons that other manufacturers haven't added it to their devices. The 9 Pro is a IP68 rated to survive 1.5 meters submersion in water for 30 minutes, and the glass rear allows for wireless charging too. The only rare design flourish is the camera housing, which prominently displays the Hasselblad branding, which you'll hear far more about in the camera section as we move on. The unit comprises 2 large sensors with 2 smaller ones below and a flash. Flip over the phone, you instantly forget the run of new looks. The display here is gorgeous. It's a 6.7-inch OLED panel with LTPO tech for adjusting the refresh rate to best match the task you are doing. It can drop a 1Hz. Watching a film or let lift, it will bump that up to 24Hz. Playing Fortnite, the screen will push on it to its maximum 128Hz. If you are moving to a higher refresh screen for the first time, then you find the change fundamental. Plus, this smart refresh tech ensures you are not wasting energy by running it at 120Hz all the time. It's a bright panel with enough kick to counteract direct use in sunlight or give definition to HDR content on Netflix or YouTube. By default, it comes set with 1080p, which you can happily remain with to eke out more endurance. If you want things sharper, then you can push it to 1440p, which is what I opt to do. It's possible to tweak the colors on the display to your preference too, either warming them up or cooling things down. I tend to use the DCI P3 mode to give everything a warmer, more pleasing look. The customization don't stop there. You have the usual SDR to HDR booster modes, which in my opinion tend to oversaturate, and a mode that will sharpen video in supported apps. If you are a gamer, the hypertouch setting ramps up the syncing speed between the display and the processor to 360Hz for more responsive controls in supported tabs, such as Call of Duty. If you play such games, then you notice the difference. There are a couple of issues we'll encounter with the panel. The auto brightness setting is rubbish, taking far too long to alter. It will drop to the lowest brightness settings for no reason. Nevertheless, the OnePlus 9 Pro screen is certainly up there with the best displays around, and OnePlus has made the panel's curvature a lot less obvious than on the OnePlus 8 Pro. As a result, the handset is far easier to hold and use. It's still big, but at less than 200GB. It's noticeably lighter than the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the Galaxy S21 Ultra I was comparing it to. It would have been nice to see OnePlus offer a smaller version of this phone that doesn't sacrifice quite as much as the OnePlus 9. OnePlus has teamed up with Hasselblad to deliver the OnePlus 9 Pro's camera, plastering the Swedish brand name across the model or the rear of the device and in the camera app itself. The camera hardware itself isn't blood infused. Instead, you have two main cameras, one wide and one ultra wide. The wide is a 60 megapixel Sony IMX 789 with optical image stabilization (OIS) and 1.8 aperture and an equivalent focal length of 23 mm. The ultra wide is also a Sony sensor, this time a 50 megapixel unit with an 2.2 aperture and freeform lens to avoid distorted image. This is a good camera, it's no longer the weakest part of the OnePlus phone. Whether this is down to Hasselblad or the newer Sony sensors is a mystery. OnePlus said that the colored Sony should be more natural with the Hasselblad Sony, although I can't say I've really noticed this whether shooting the standard or pro mode. Images are a little less saturated than the Oppo Find X3 Pro, but they still display punchy colors that are more vibrant than the actual subject. The ultra-wide camera is super impressive, however, especially seasoned for those that fish-eye view you see with much of the composition. Ultra-wide shots are crisp, though I wish it didn't vary so much in color tone to the main sensor. The Nightscape low light shooting mode is present too, and again is very good for pulling out detail and boosting light in dark shots. The result don't look very realistic, but that's expected with all the HDR stitching and post-processing that goes on. Tension to play around the settings, then the Pro mode is stacked full of customizations. I can shoot in raw 12-bit. However, this isn't a complete camera system. The 8 megapixel telephoto camera is pretty poor. Detail is lost when you are 3.3x, and the 2.4 aperture means it struggles to grab light in darker situations. The first sensor is merely a 2 megapixel monochrome sensor that is the main camera. In terms of video, there's 8K at 30 frames per second, 4K at 30 or 60 or 120, and 1080 up to 240 frames per second. Having 4K at 120 is very much welcome if you are trying to capture some silky looking B-roll, and although watching it back 8K footage is tricky, it looks good on a spec sheet. Like the Oppo Find X3 Pro and Xiaomi Mi 11, the OnePlus 9 Pro packs a Snapdragon 888 chipset with 5G support that's paired with a 8GB or 12GB of LPDDR5 RAM and 128GB or 256GB UFS 3.1 of storage. Considering there is no expandable storage, the 512GB option would have been welcome. Nevertheless, I do think that even the most ardent of users will be fine with 256GB. The OnePlus 9 Pro feels fast and fluid, and aside from some software bugs that I'll get onto later. This probably doesn't come as a surprise though, since I feel that that's been my experience with OnePlus phone in general. The HyperTouch gaming feature paired with the 128 display even makes the 9 Pro a great gaming device. With any title I tried running flat out without any issue. My real world use was reflected in the benchmark scores too, the OnePlus 9 Pro popping out hefty synthetic scores in both Jig Ben 5 and 3D Mark. OnePlus redesigned its Oxygen OS software in 2020, moving away from the stock look to give it more personality. It takes most of its cues from Google, and all the big Android 11 features are here, but there's definitely a hint of Samsung's One UI here too, which isn't a bad thing at all. UI elements are lower on the display to make them easier to use with one hand, and navigation is improved. There are a lot of nice extras with Oxygen OS too, which make it one of my favorite versions of Android. There's a reading mode that turns everything black and white, a swipe down menu that can keep all your widgets together, and a heavily customizable always on display. OnePlus has shown itself to be great with quick Android version updates too. The Oxygen OS issue isn't without its issues, however the camera app is slow, especially when you're opening the double tap of the side key. Numerous times I pull the phone out and miss my shot as the app takes a quick couple of seconds to load up. The 4500 mAh battery inside the OnePlus 9 isn't the biggest around, yet it does the job well. Choosing the smaller cell allows for a slightly slimmer, lighter phone, and the trade-off here is just about worth it. The smart refresh display does appear to make a difference. The display doesn't drain heavily when streaming an episode of Altered Carbon. You can of course hammer the battery. I noticed that giving the cost issues hardly a surprise considering the 128 refresh rate. When you are running low, the tremendously fast swap charge achieves a 0 to 100% charge in around 30 to 35 minutes. The same charger can also juice up other devices such as Nintendo Switch or a laptop up to 45 watts if it's USB-C PD enabled. You will need to use that particular charger though. The speed aren't as fast with the third-party option. This is one of the reasons I dug OnePlus ever ditched the box charger. It's just too much of a feature on this phone to make someone buy it separately. OnePlus is also selling a 50-watt wireless charger that have been trailing with the phone. This offers a full charge in roughly 45 minutes if you're happy to put up with the level of noise it emits. Of course, there are still questions to be asked about the health of batteries that are charged this quickly and what it really does of them in the long term. The OnePlus 9 Pro really is a great phone. It's comfortable, one of the best Android phones around. The screen is impressive, performance is snappy, and the camera is surprisingly capable. Even if a slow camera app can make the experience a little frustrating at times, there aren't any obvious missing features, possibly aside from a really good zoom camera, and while the design isn't standard, it's hardly ugly. Most significant concern is availability and whether without a strong carrier and network partnership, people will be willing to part with the cash required to buy this device outright. Alright guys, welcome to the end of our review. Please like, subscribe, comment on this video, and turn on those post notifications so you get notified whenever I release a new video. Stay blessed. Peace.